Hey, brothers and sisters, today's lesson is about understanding and how we will never be able to understand any other person ever, period, dot, period. And I'm going to show this lesson with feathers today. This is brought to you by the angels who sent a glorious message about understanding to a friend of mine who was asking about her sister-in-law and how she can help understand her and understand how she's raising her kids because there was a lot of disagreement. So what the message was from the angels, and it said, you will never be able to understand any other human being. It's not up to you as a human to understand another human being. The reason that you can never understand anyone is because you have not been through their experience, through their walks of life. You haven't been through their shows. And when you try to put yourself into their shoes, you can only show from your perspective, based on your experiences, your algorithms, and your reactions in life, in your emotions. That is the depth of understanding that you can have, but you will never actually be able to understand any other human being. And for as long as you do try to understand them, you're walking the path of them, not the path of yourself. This was a truly inspiring message. And just to kind of show you about what they were talking about and about understanding is, let's say that this is you and this is a friend of yours. Now, when we look at these feathers, we know that they are both the same, right? They have the same kind of design. They're from the same bird, the same animal, and we can see that they have a lot of similarities to them. They both have this brown and this black stripe in there. They have the same kind of patterns. But if you look really closely here, brothers and sisters, you see that the patterns on this one are a little bit thicker in the black here. And on this one, it's a little bit thinner. So this tells me that the growth of these feathers happened in a different way. This feather was a little bit more supported and it got a little bit more energy here, where this one was suffering a little bit to keep its line, and it lost little particles of that DNA. So this tells me that during the time of this feather growth that the bird was actually really stressed out and in panic mode, because when we see tiny lines in nature like this, whether it be trees or feathers, when we see lines that try to grow fast and they don't grow with this nice thickness, it means that they're trying to grow fast for survival purposes, is that the energy around that is changing. Now, when I flip it over, we see kind of the same thing. We see the darker brown. This one has a little bit more brown. It's sturdy, where this one is a little bit more glitched. Now, if we actually look at the feathers here, this one is more put together because it was able to grow so long, where this one is a little bit more sketchy on the sides here, and they don't hold the perfect form. Now, remember, this is you and this is your friend. You can only understand what you have gone through with your perspectives. You and this one can only understand what it's gone through on its perspectives. So now if I am this and I try to go understand the life of this, realistically, all I'm doing is I'm putting myself ahead of them. I'm putting myself in their shoes, but I'm still wearing my flesh. It's still my feet. So I am basing everything that I understand off of my experience from the perspective that they had told me. So you see, brothers and sisters, we can never jump inside. I can't jump from this feather and put this inside the other feather. It's not physically possible. Why? Because once energy is set, another energy cannot enter into that space. And this feather, this person, this energy source is holding this space for this energy and cannot be copied or replicated as a whole. So when we're thinking of what our friends are going through, if we're trying to understand why they're doing drugs, why they think a certain way, why they act a certain way, why they're trying to raise their kids a certain way, even how they're being successful, we can only do it based off of our own experiences. We can't actually ever get into their shoes. And so based on the emotions and stuff that you've gone through, I put out earlier this month on Facebook, I asked people, what do you think of love? And people had various comments to put on it. And some of them were, love is warm, love is kind. Others is, love is deceitful, love is untrusting. Based on the energy that they received when they put their love out to somebody is how they now reflect on energy. Because if they said, oh, I love you to someone, and someone said, well, I hate you, then they don't want to speak of love. They're fearful. Oh, I don't want to tell that person I love them because they're just going to bring out some negative energy. So I'm not going to do it. So now that person's in a fearful state. But if that person goes to love and they receive love, then love is going to be kind. You see, based on the experiences of the person, we each come up with our own word, our own feeling, our own word, algorithm, our own reaction to the action based on what our experience has had. So we don't try to understand people, brothers and sisters. It's not up to you to understand. It's not up to you to judge. It's up to you to support and to try to help the person, whoever it is that is in your situation, help them become a better person. That's the best that you can do. Sometimes it is easy to talk so that you can understand on some level, but know that the more and more and more you try to understand the actions of a person, the more you're conforming to their energy, and you're going to be more likely to do the action that they have because you are conforming to that energy, but also you're stepping outside of your energy to put yourself into that space that they're holding, as well as you really won't be able to do it. You'll fail every time because we're human and we don't even understand why we do things ourselves. Sometimes I say things, sometimes I do things, sometimes I react in ways that, a minute after I do it, oh gosh, why did I say that? What happened? How did that even happen? And if I can't understand myself, why I think, why I can't stop my thinking, why I keep going back to things, why I have compulsions to think about certain things, do certain things, clean the house a certain way. If I can't understand myself fully, then I can't understand anyone else fully. And that's it, brothers and sisters. So know that you will never, ever, ever, your entire life, be able to fully 100% understand anyone. And know that when you are trying to get people to understand you, and you're having that passion and you're having that heartache because you feel like people can't understand you, know that they can't. It's not that they're not trying. It's not that they aren't listening, but it's that they really can't, because they haven't been through the things that you've been through to understand the emotions that you are holding. So, brothers and sisters, when you're expecting other people to understand you, know that that's not always possible. I love you, and I hope this information helped you. Peace out, brothers and sisters.